What's going on, everybody? Rob here, aka Trev2323. Today I'm going to go over van life. The sun is killing my eyes, so this is the last of me you're gonna see. I'm gonna flip it over so you can see everything inside the van, and I'll go ahead and talk about it. Okay, there's my 2014 Chevy Express. It's a Chevy Express 1500. And I talk about van life. I am a part-time van lifer. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and when I feel I need to get off grid, this is the baby I use to get off a grid. It's a 8-passenger van, and it is an all-window van. So we're gonna go over some of the things I love about it and some of the things I dislike. I'm not gonna say hate about it, but I will say dislike, because this is my baby. I extremely love this van. I used to have a Chevy Astro van that was my baby, and I loved it so much until I got this one. The Astro van handled better in the snow because the center of gravity was more centered. This isn't all-wheel drive, this is rear-wheel drive, so that back of that is really light. So in the snow, I mean, it's not you're discombobulated, but you got to be more careful. And the Astro van can get through snow a lot better than the Chevy Express. Okay, so this is rear-wheel drive, but this has, I believe, a 5.3 V8, and the Astro had a 6-cylinder, so it's easier on gas. But the Astro can only tow 5,000 pounds, and this can tow 7,500 pounds. Okay, so also another thing with this, it is considered a passenger van. I do have passenger plates and a passenger city sticker on this because I have passenger seats in it. There's a bench seat right here, a bench seat right there. Yeah, I got my little stool. I was carrying somebody and they had to step in there yesterday, and I got my blankets back there and my car seat. Now this is a passenger van, okay? So it's not considered a cargo van. It's not considered anything like this. I had to prove to the city of Chicago that it was a passenger van because they wanted it to be as a cargo van. I have seats in here. Now the seats I don't like because the Astrovan seats, they could scoot up and scoot back, so you had more leg room. If you wanted to, they could scoot up and scoot back, and the Astrovan seats folded over. These seats do not fold over, and they not scoot up and scoot back. Where they are locked in place, they are locked in place. And you see my wife, you don't got a lot of leg room behind my short butt. You got a lot of leg room, and there's not a lot of leg room in the back seat. Now go over this. You see the buttons on the top? I actually put those there, and they're all around the van because I made my own curtains to Velcro in place all the way around the van. So I do have enough curtains to go all the way around the sides of the van. I made curtains for the back windows of the van, and right behind the front seats there's a curtain. And the curtains I sewed were all black on the outside, and they were silver to match the van on the inside. So with LED lights, even if you look through the front, you can't see anybody in there because they go from top to bottom inside of the van. And then the back windows are a little bit tinted right here. So with the back windows a little bit tinted, then you put the all black curtains across them. You can't see anything inside the van, so it is pretty stealth, the van itself. Okay, so with the 2 bench seats in here, it's you can see maybe from this side right here. I'm trying to get the sun out the way. Okay, with the 2 bench seats in here, I could actually move stuff. If I just have the middle seat in here and not the back seat, I'm still able to move couches or whatever in there. My kids do use it if they gotta move something, pick something up. But instead of, like, if you had a 4x8 sheet of plywood, you gotta take the seats out because they don't fold over, and that really drives me nuts. Now about van life with this one, I do have the remote start, and if you put the curtains in the front seat, across the front seat and all the way around, what's going on? And you do put the curtains there, and you put the curtains all the way around, you do stay warm in the back. I have blankets that I fold over to put on the floor. I don't sleep in the bench seats. I fold them over and put them on the floor, and then I got a 0-degree sleeping bag that I sleep on top of those. And I was out in like 28 degrees and nighttime 26 degrees. I was in my underwears in the sleeping bag because it was so warm inside of there. I keep the keys, the remote start keys, with me because I have all the heat on high. So before I get out of the sleeping bag, I remote start the van. It'll do it 10 minutes, and then it'll warm up the van so I get out the sleeping bag and I'm okay. It got a 7,500 pound trailer hitch on it, So I'm hoping my van life friends don't kick me out of my van life Facebook group, because I do van life in here part-time. I'm not a full-time van lifer, but I'm looking at getting a 16-foot trailer, because one thing is I don't got a toilet or a commode in here, and I don't got a shower in here. Shower I don't mind as much, but the toilet and commode, like if you're having, like, the one time I was out, I had a bad belly ache, and I'm driving around looking to go to a place because I barely made it to a place because my bad belly ache. So yeah, I could put the bucket with the little commode in here, but I'm thinking I'm going to be more comfortable with the just pulling a 16-foot trailer. Another thing on this is one of the things I really appreciated about this was during COVID, and they didn't let anybody in the hospital, but you know, my wife and my son-in-law, this fits into parking garages. So I actually had this in a parking garage with all the curtains around it, and I slept in the parking garage for 2 days while my daughter had my grandson. I was able to stay up there, stay in here. I got my lithium ion batteries, so I could watch TV, I could work on my laptop and everything like that in here, and I'm extremely comfortable. So I'm in the parking garage with this, working, sleeping and everything, and with the curtains all the way around. Everybody thought it was just a van sitting there. I don't have a generator on this. I got the lithium batteries that I normally carry around with me, the battery packs. They're not solar. Another thing about this one that I love is I can fit it in a parking garage. So when I'm going to most parking garages, I can fit it in the parking garage, no problem. And if I had a high top van, I couldn't fit it in a parking garage. If I had a high top van, I couldn't fit it to drive-thrus. So that's one thing that's gonna happen when I get my trailer now. I'm not gonna be able to go in parking garages anymore or go through drive-thrus anymore with a trailer. I'm unsure if I'm gonna get it, but I more or less think I am gonna get it, so I can stay in some campgrounds for $20 a night. You got the electricity and you got the water. So with the trailer, I'd be able to hook up the electricity and the water. Okay, so let's go over other stuff about this van. With this van right here, I'll show you the front of it. One thing that I didn't care about with the van is if you do want to change the radio in the van. My wife said I had breast when you see her cup. If you want to change that radio in the van, you have to take off the whole dashboard to change the radio in the van. Okay, the whole dashboard has to come out. You have to buy an extra adapter because it does have a backup camera in the light right there. I mean, in the camera. So I do love the backup camera, although there's an adapter you got to buy for the backup camera, and there's an adapter you have to buy for the steering wheel controls for the radio. On top of that, you got to have to remove the whole dashboard. Okay. I'm gonna be crying pretty soon coming up with this one right here, because I gotta try to get the behind me again. I'm gonna be crying coming up with this one pretty soon again, because I know this summer there's two big expenses that I gotta go through with this one right here. I gotta have the plugs and wires changed and a complete tune-up. It's gonna be about $600 from the dealer. Half the engine's in the front of it, half the engine's inside the van. So they got to do the plugs and wires from inside and outside the van, about 600 bucks. These tires right here are truck tires, light truck 245 70/17 tires. So I'm looking about 250 to 350 per tire to change on this. But right now we just haul a little 16-foot boat, but we're thinking about hauling the trailer. So this right here, I'm gonna need to get the new tires. They seem like they got good treads and everything, but I know on the sides you can see a little bit of dry rot. So on the expressway, I don't want to have to worry about that. I'm gonna get the best tires I can get to put on this. So like I said, I am a van lifer. I'm a part-time van lifer. Coming up, I'm gonna be driving down to Panama City Beach. I'm gonna be driving down to Pensacola, Florida, in that area, and then maybe in the summertime I'm gonna head out to Lake Havasu with the van. But it might be with the trailer if I have the trailer by then, and I'll go over the trailer. Let me open up the back of the van so you can see the back of the van over here. With the back of the van, I do have a 75 trailer hitch and a 6-lug plug in it. Okay, and I got my Marine Corps stickers. Me and my wife, Veterans and Suicide Hotline. I am a shellback. I passed the equator. I went with the 15 Marine Expeditionary Unit to the ass end of Desert Storm and Mogadishu, first one in, on the USS Rushmore. Okay, so there's about 4 feet behind the back seat in here. So technically, If I get stuck somewhere, yes, I can sleep right back here. In the crates, I have, those are my curtains that go all the way around the van, and I have the let me get back. And I have the plugs for a 30 amp to 15 amp. So I got the plugs that come out the right here, the wire, and the plugs go from a campground, from a 30 amp into a 15 amp, right between here into the van, so I could have electricity at nighttime, or I could plug in and you know, I got a 100-foot extension cord, but it's not a camper extension cord, so I got a little 1500-watt heater that I could have in here, not off of solar, just if I have to plug it in. I got a camp stove and a little table that I normally carry back in here with me. But when I'm off grid, realistically, if I sleep in the van, I don't take anything with me but my sleeping bag, and I bring some pops and some snacks, or some sodas and some snacks, depends on where you're at with me, and this one right here. So this is my van life van. This is my comfort. I absolutely love this Chevy 1500. I believe it's a 2014. I bought it used for 12 grand. There was one owner. It was a one owner van. He took it to the same dealer he bought it from, and they had all the service records on it. One let me tell you this one thing that kills me on this van. It's a 36 gallon tank, 32, 36 gallon tank, 36 I believe. So picture filling up 36 gallons, and then on average I get 417 miles on a full tank of gas. So from here, from where I'm at, Chicago, to Miami, it'll take 1,300 miles. So 4, 8, 12, so almost 3 full tanks of gas. And right now the gas is costing me about $75 to fill up from a quarter tank. The highest it was like a $125, $130 to fill up a tank of gas. So it'll cost me, when the gas prices are up, it's gonna cost me about, you know, $400, $800 just to drive to Miami and back. So man, I'm dying for these gas prices to go back down. You have a 6 cylinder, these smaller SUVs, you could pull a 16-foot trailer and it'll be better gas economy. But this right here, I mean, I could pull up to 7,500 pounds comfortably in this and not have a problem. So either way, I wanted to show you my van life, my van, what I loved and what I hate about it. I am a diehard van lifer, but I think I'm getting older where I'm going to get I've been looking for a casita trailer or a scam trailer, 16 to 17 footer, because I believe that you have to have something that you can store on your property, and you got to look at your zone and your code, because if your zone and your code says you can't have it on your property, you can get ticketed. So I know 16-foot one, I know I can fit on my property, and I don't have to pay to store it anywhere. If you get too big, you got to pay to store it somewhere. All right, talk to you later. Subscribe, like, and share.